Hi there, AJ Puedan, the business hypnotist here. Today we're going to be talking about self-talk. And self-talk is the way that you talk to yourself on a subconscious level. You know, you've all heard the statement, if you think you can or you think you can't, either way, you're right. Well, what I want you to do right now is start to pay attention to your own self-talk. It's amazing when I hear other people talk just how self-defeating they are in their language, and they aren't even aware of it. So before we can improve the way that we talk to ourselves, and again, the reason why we would want to improve the way that we talk to ourselves is it starts to change our beliefs about who we are and who we aren't. It really affects how we emotionally feel about the day. It affects all of our actions, whether or not we do it, confidently, or whether we do it, half-heartedly. It affects the results that we get in our lives. And so that which we think to ourselves, you've heard the term ask and you shall receive. Well, this is kind of like imagine and you shall create. And the talk that we do is the language that brings it out into the world, that communicates to the world. And so start paying attention to your own self-talk. You'll have good talk and you'll have bad talk. Before you look to improve it, first be aware of it. What are you saying that's positive to and helpful to your life, and what are you saying that may not be as helpful to you in your life? Once you do that, realize you're going to have both, the good talk and the bad talk. Once you do that, realize that any fear that you may have, any kind of talks that may be on that bad talk, may not necessarily mean stop. It means pay attention. Pay attention to what's going on. So sometimes I see some people, kind of beat themselves up because they realize, oh my gosh, I got all this bad talk. And yet the process of transitioning the bad talk is understand, why is the bad talk there? We all have a innate need to preserve themselves. In other words, to take care or protect ourselves. And some people use bad talk as a way to protect themselves against something else. And so because they have a fear. So if we can pay attention to what's the reason of that bad talk is there, then that can help us transition to what we really want, which is that good talk. Okay. We move in the direction of our most dominant thought, meaning whatever it is that we're thinking of is what we start to create in the world. So ask for what you do want versus what you don't want. That bad talk is about putting out into the world a lot of what you don't want. And so what we want to do is transition it. If you don't want to be fat, you may want to be slender, or you may want to be healthy. If you don't want to be underconfident or scared, well, you might want to be bold and assertive. What is it that you do want versus what it is that you don't want? And therefore, we start off with doing a kind of a self-assessment. Self-assessment, before we can go further, from point A to point B, we got to really know where point A is. Point A starts off with knowing what your self-talk is like and how can we improve it. It really also is going to play a lot into your confidence. Now, your confidence is a very important thing to address. It's not, some people think either you have it or you don't. Well, the people who have it for a reason. And so it's actually something you can build, work on, and create in your life. And whatever it is that you define as your confidence, or the reasons for your confidence, this is part of your core beingness, and you got to protect that reason for being confident with everything, like you would protect a small child. Some people, think, wow, I did such a great job, and then they let someone else, a friend, laugh at them and says, oh yeah, well, I know someone who did better than that. And it's like, well, thank you very much, and I'm really happy and really glad about what I just did for myself. They let other people pick and put down their confidence, and do not let anyone ever put you down. Don't let anyone ever say you can't do something. Whatever it is you think you have confidence in, you got to protect that. Don't let anyone ever tear it down, even if they have, so to say, quote unquote, good reasoning. What you want to do is protect it so that you can nurture it, so that you can grow it to be more. So let me ask you this question. What is it that you're proud about? What is it that you're proud about? Is it something that you've accomplished? Maybe it's about who you are. Maybe, for me, I love the fact that I go up to bat all the time. It doesn't matter whether I feel like I can do something or I can't do it. doesn't make a difference. I tend to want to do it anyways. I've got a good heart. What are the things that you're proud about? Maybe it's a past history, working on cruise ships as a magician, working as a hypnotist, doing my seminars. These are things that I'm proud about, changing people's lives. And whatever it is, you got to protect that, okay? Be proud of that. Integrity in all actions. In other words, walk your talk and do what is right in order to protect that confidence, okay? And develop that self-awareness, that self-assessment, self-awareness of these things, because if we don't know what it is or the reasons we have the confidence for it, how do we protect it? How do we not let people take jabs at us? So we got to develop that confidence. So therefore, again, we've talked about confidence. We've been talking about asking for what you do want, positive, good self-talk as part of that self-assessment. The other thing where I've seen some challenges with people in their confidence is when they answer the question, what is it that you're proud about? Sometimes it's not necessarily balanced. So you got to be balanced with the term, who am I? So let me expand upon this. Some people are, I am my success. In other words, I am a gold medalist. I am a millionaire. I am a NBA ball player or something like that. Whatever, if you are your success, that is a place of great strength. However, realize it has short-term benefits and effectiveness. It's great to say this is who you are right now and give you a lot of great strong confidence. However, the challenge with that is that if you are dependent on that success. So in other words, what happens without that success? In other words, there's an injury or a setback, So for example, let's say, I am a millionaire. Then all of a sudden the person loses the $1 million. All of a sudden they're emotionally devastated. I don't know who I am anymore, and they can't create it, Something more effective might be, I am a person that creates millions, okay? That isn't based on their past success. That is based off of who they are as a person. I'm a gold medalist. Well, then what happens if, well, I guess you don't get your gold medal taken away, but, as an athlete, what happens if there's an injury or a setback? So for me, I'm a good-hearted person. I'm a person who swings a bat. I'm a person who works hard, studies hard. I'm a person who loves people. These are some things that I'm really proud about that really have no bearing on my past successes. I'm a family man. These are the things that I can feel really great about in spite of successes. So not that having successes is bad. I mean, that's really awesome. And yet ask yourself this question, who am I outside of work? So for example, I meet a lot of people, I'm a real estate investor. Well, if you're no longer a real estate investor, then they're kind of lost. If you are no longer a speaker, they're kind of lost. I am no longer, something. Who are you? And this could be a very challenging question. I've known people to just kind of ponder this for a long time. Who am I? I don't know. I mean, it's like, well, work is everything. Work is important. I don't want to put that down. And yet, I want you to be more balanced into it and answer, who am I outside of work? How about outside of family? Okay? Or perhaps outside of your friends. Who are you? What type of person can someone else count on you being? What kind of person can you count on yourself being? So answer those questions there. Eventually, what you're going to find out is that you have certain habits. As you answer these questions, your habits are great clues about who you are outside of all those things. Habits are the things that we do easily without much thought. These are just the things that we just create in your mind. I speak off the top of my head. I wing things a lot. I'm kind of winging things right now. Just kind of speaking from the top of my head about my thoughts and the actions. It's just something that I do. I'm creative in that way. The other thing is, once you've identified what habits you do want to help support you, realize that habits are formed roughly, they say, over a 21-day period. The reason why is because, the first week, a new habit is pretty easy. The second week, towards the end of the second week, it gets a little bit tough, and that's where most people quit. And yet, if you can get over that hump and go the full 21 days, then you have a new habit that is formed. And so the habits that we might be thinking about right now are the habits of confidence, of knowing who you are, these, having habitual thoughts, confidence in, or good positive talk about asking for what you want, knowing what it is that you want. So these are new habits, mental habits that you can start to form. Another thing that can create habits really fast is peak emotional experiences. So anytime you can have a peak emotional state, in other words, something just amazing happens into your life. In our seminars we do a lot of activities, have people jumping from ropes and being emotionally supportive and a lot of those sort of things. They're having the time of their life. They're either really scared or they're really happy. Habits can easily be formed during those points as well. And so let me ask you this question. What are some of your current habits? Okay, are you currently have a habit of asking for what you don't want versus what you do want, having bad talk versus good talk? Or would you like to have better self-talk? Do you have a habit of protecting your confidence and knowing and affirming to yourself what you have confidence in? So all these things are where our basis is going to start before we create change in our lives. If you want to come on a journey with me, I'd love to journey with you and create more into your life. And yet to create more, that means change. And sometimes people don't necessarily like change. So here I'm going to leave you with some quick quotes from some other people that will help inspire you to have that willingness for change. There's a part in every living thing that wants to become itself. A tadpole into a frog, a caterpillar into a butterfly, a damaged human being into a whole one. That is spirituality, Ellen Bass. Another great quote: if each of us would just sweep in front of our own steps, the whole world would be clean. In other words, before we look to change others, let's also make sure that we're looking at ourselves and take care of ourselves. Two more great quotes for you. We are changing, and we have got to change. We can no more help it than leaves can help going from yellow and coming loose in autumn. Okay. Another great quote for willingness for change is: there came a time when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. So anyways, this is AJ, the business hypnotist, asking you to come take a journey with me into a world of creating more in your life. Subscribe to my channel, sign up on like us on our Facebook, or go to our blog, and stay tuned for our next lesson. Looking forward to talking to you again. Bye.